We just thought, work as hard as you can, save up what you can, and hopefully you get to retire. So I said to you that we serve mammon by worrying about it. Then we finished with 1 Peter 5:7. Therefore, humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time. How do I do that, Peter? Casting all your care upon him. Or as the Amplified says, casting all your anxieties, all your worries, and all your concerns over on him, for he cares for you. So you look at that scripture and if you just read it straight up, and I didn't catch that for years. It wasn't until I started to study when the Lord was on my case about how I was carrying the weight of the church. He said, you're worried about everybody that comes in and doesn't come in. And you know what? When you got a little church, you do that. You got a little church, you look around when you got 80 people and the Smiths and the Jones aren't there this Sunday. And so a quarter of your congregation is down and so's your offering. And, if you're a business person and you know how much your bills are coming in every month and and all of a sudden on the weekend, half your little church isn't there, you got 40 people instead of 80, you're like, okay, what am I going to do? And the Lord said, you need to quit carrying that care. I said I would build my church. And it took me about 3 years to do. And the place that I learned it best was we'd put on a conference. When you got 100 people, and you have a guest speaker come in, and they speak Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday night, and Sunday morning, and you got to pay them something and try not to be cheap. Let's say you pay them $500 for each service, and the people that I brought the person there for so often didn't come. And I remember being so mad for the first 5 years of ministry. I said, these meatheads, I'm the shepherd. Why can't they come? You can't make anybody come. And I said, here I got the guy that's going to help them with the very thing, their marriage issues. But they're too busy to come, and they're going to carry on with their marriage problems. And the Lord said, you need to roll that over on me. I was like, okay. Because you're frustrated, you're trying to pastor people, you're trying to help people, you're trying to, but then when something like that happens, and the Lord said, you need to quit carrying that. And I heard another preacher talk about this, and he said it this way. He said, if God can't fix them, who are you? In other words, if God can't speak to their hearts to come, who are you? I thought, that is a very freeing statement. It's exactly the truth. Who am I? I'm looking at it. I moved over to the other side where actually now it develops in you. You know how things change, that lack of, where if we put on a conference and people don't come from our church, I don't care. I actually don't care anymore. I wish they did because they'd be blessed by it. But I can't carry that. And, typically at the conferences that we do, about 30% of the people that are in the conference are from this church. 30%. Isn't that something? We have a conference coming up I haven't even told you about. Because you have to pray in the Spirit and get it yourself. So that was something that came back to me, that when I couldn't fix our finances or I couldn't fix getting more people to come, I humbled myself by casting my care upon him and said, Lord, I'm obeying your word now. The opposite of that would be by carrying our cares, we're telling that we don't really need him. And that would be pride. I can carry this. I can worry about this. Remember the illustration that I used where Jesus said, which of you by worrying can add 1 cubit to his stature? Remember how that didn't make any sense? I was like, what does that have to do with anything? He said, the same way that you cannot make yourself grow, a cubit was about 18 inches. So you're looking at 1.5 feet. I don't know how many centimeters that is, 45, I think. That the same way that you can't, more centimeters, the same way that you can't do anything by trying to make yourself grow another 45 centimeters, when you worry, it does absolutely nothing to help fix the problem. That's why Jesus used that illustration right there. Now, that's a good thing to learn for some of us who are worrywarts. Your own obligation to feel guilty about the thing is so often what prompts us to worry.